Welcome to another one of my trip reports. Today I will be flying with FIJI Airways on board a Boeing 737 MAX 8. Today's trip report begins at Nadi International Airport. Nadi is a city located on the island of Viti Levu in the island nation of Fiji in the South Pacific. Nadi is not the capital of Fiji, however that title goes to Suva, which is on the other side of the island. Despite this, Nadi is home to the largest airport in the country and is home to the island's flag carrier, FIJI Airways, which I will be flying on board today back to my home of Sydney. After arriving in from Auckland, I was guided back inside the terminal building, and immediately the island vibe started. As I was not staying in Nadi today, I was directed to a separate line so I could re-clear security. The small security checkpoint is very basic and is not meant for large groups of people to pass through. Once past security, who are probably the most friendly I have ever met, I made my way through duty free, and for once I decided to browse for the Fijian rum I had on the previous flight. After spending way too much time looking for the Fijian rum, I made my way downstairs to the FIJI Airways Premiership Lounge. At the start of the year, I decided to join Priority Pass, which gives a person access to over 1,300 lounges across the world, and here in Nadi, Priority Pass members have access to this lounge. However, I used my previous business class ticket to gain access instead. Inside the lounge, there are many seating choices to choose from, including a formal dining area, rest areas, closed-off spaces and workbenches. One thing I must mention is the floral smell that is present throughout the lounge. It smells really good, like jasmine flowers. Unfortunately, there aren't any window views from the lounge due to the lounge being under the ground. The food and drink is okay, but there is a bar. On today's menu is different juices, soft drinks, a selection of breads including sourdough and wholemeal, scones, pastries, jam muffins, tea and coffee, tomato and coconut soup, a DIY salad station, Szechuan eggplant, stir-fried vegetables, rice and kung pao chicken. There was also this really weird popcorn stand with a mixture of different chips inside. As I had eaten on the previous flight, I was a little bit full, so I decided on a light meal, which was another glass of Fijian rum and orange juice, as well as a raspberry muffin, which was a little bit bland, but the sweetness from the raspberry was there, just very minimal. The butter helped out quite a bit to bring out these sweet flavors, which made the muffin very nice. There is a bathroom inside the lounge with a shower, however, it can only be accessed if the staff unlock the door first. Soon, boarding for my flight was called over the lounge public announcement system, and I made my way back upstairs. Boarding today commenced from Gate 5. However, before I was allowed to board, a final baggage inspection was carried out, which only took a few minutes. And soon I was heading down the jet bridge to my aircraft, which is a Boeing 737 MAX 8, registered as Delta Quebec Foxtrot Alpha Hotel. The aircraft was delivered brand new to FIJI Airways in 2020, making this aircraft just over 2 years old. FIJI Airways Boeing 737 MAXs are in a two-class configuration with 8 business class seats in a 2-2 layout and 162 economy class seats in a 3-3 layout. This evening I shall be seated in 15 Foxtrot. The economy class seat has 32 inches of pitch and 17 inches of width. There is a standard tray table that folds down and extends. In the seat back pocket you'll find a safety card as well as an air sickness bag and headphone set. At every seat is a small pillow and soft blanket. However, this was unnecessary as the temperature inside the cabin was extremely high. Above are individual reading lights, air vents and a flight attendant call button. We pushed back from Gate 5 17 minutes behind schedule and the engines fired up. We taxied out to runway 20 via Alpha. Now please enjoy this unedited takeoff footage. After takeoff, we turned slightly right, setting course for Sydney. Flight time today is 4 hours and 28 minutes, covering a distance of 2,015 miles or 3,249 kilometers, cruising at 36,000 feet. Once airborne, we flew by the islands of Malolo, west of Nadi. On the back of every economy seat is an entertainment screen that is completely touchscreen, featuring movies, TV shows and games, as well as a moving map feature, which I spent a while playing around with. My only criticism with the moving map is that the quality of the map itself is very poor. Before dinner was served, all passengers were handed a cup of water, as well as Australia's incoming passenger card. Around an hour after takeoff, the crew started serving dinner, which we had a choice of chicken or beef. I chose the chicken, which was served with potatoes, green beans and a single piece of tomato. The side dish was a coleslaw, hot roll and a biscuit. I found the chicken to be a little dry, as breast meat was used rather than the more tender thigh. The potatoes were steamed and tasted very nice. The coleslaw was okay, but a bit soggy. The biscuit tasted like a discount Tim Tam with an orange filling. After dinner, I decided to pay the bathroom a visit, to which there are 3 on board, 1 for business behind the cockpit and 2 for economy at the rear. Inside is everything you'd expect, including 500,000 mirrors. When I returned to my seat, things started to go wrong. Over the public announcement system, a doctor was requested by the crew. I'll explain during descent, but everyone's minds were put to rest as we began our approach into Sydney, and a message from the Australian government began playing on all screens. In the distance, I saw the New South Wales town of Newcastle, confirming that we would be indeed landing in Sydney. Soon we commenced our descent into Sydney. Unfortunately, due to the lateness of the day, there wasn't much to see outside the window, other than the flicker of the city lights below. So instead I'll explain the issue that occurred on board. I don't exactly know what was happening at the time. All I knew is that around an hour after takeoff, a baby in the front row was screaming its head off. I found out once we had landed that said baby had started throwing up blood. The possibility of a diversion to Brisbane or Noumea was on the table for a solid hour whilst we were flying towards Sydney, but the diversion wasn't necessary as the baby stopped screaming for quite some time. Now please enjoy this unedited landing footage. After landing, we taxied back to the international terminal via Uniform 1, Lima, Bravo, Runway 25 and Golf 1 to Gate 63. We pulled into the gate 20 minutes behind schedule. Before we were allowed to leave, 2 paramedics boarded the aircraft and rushed the family of 3 off the aircraft and into the terminal. We were then allowed to disembark a further 20 minutes after having arrived at our gate. I said in a previous video that FIJI Airways is my favourite non-Australian airline. Whilst this isn't the best flight I've ever had, the crew and staff is what made this flight amazing. At Nadi, I left my glasses on the previous flight by accident, and I was presented them in the lounge by a staff member who apologised to me that I left it on the aircraft. I quickly corrected their apology and said that I should have checked my seat more thoroughly and apologised to them for the inconvenience caused. The lounge itself wasn't the best I've ever experienced, but was very adequate and very relaxing. The temperature inside was cool in comparison to the heat of the aircraft. On board the aircraft, the crew handled the in-flight emergency professionally and quietly. I had no clue what happened until after we had landed. They also didn't know anything about me and were kind enough to speak to me whilst I was waiting for the bathroom, despite being busy. We spoke about their jobs and if they enjoyed them. I was told nothing but positive things about their careers, which was awesome to hear. I was also asked about my filming equipment, to which I explained about my YouTube channel, and I wonder if they're watching this video. I guess I'll never know. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment and subscribe, and make sure to push that notification bell if you enjoy my content, and I hope to see you again in the next one. See you later!
Ooh, and then you asked me if I would come along. I just can't seem to believe in the thought, but everyone says that